WHURworld.com, 96.3 HD2. This is The Mix. I'm Jason Clark.
And I'm Naija T, of course.
And we did promise you a little special treat today. We're not going to bring you the artist spotlight as we usually do. In the 9 a.m. hour, we have an interview with a Mr. Babe Bright today, new author of a book entitled How to Attract a Real Man. Especially written for Miss Naija T, of course.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So good morning, Mr. Bright. How are you doing this morning?
Everything's good. How you guys doing today?
I'm doing great.
Thanks for having me. Feels good to be here. WHUR World, we in effect.
So, tell us a little bit about yourself. You know, where you got your education, where your background, where you're from.
Okay. Well, I'm Babe Bright. I'm actually from Harlem, New York City.
Okay.
And I've been in D.C., so I always say I'm like new D.C. or new. Yeah, I grew up in New York, and then I went to school out here. I went to PG County. I went to school out in PG County. College, I went to Norfolk State University for about a year and a half, and then I was on my grind, and I actually went back to school online, and I got my bachelor's online from AIU.
Okay.
Yeah. American Intercontinental. Very good. Can I call you NT?
You can.
There you go.
Call me whatever you like.
That's real sexy, NT.
Okay, so he's done a lot of traveling.
Yeah.
So I guess in that traveling, you have talked to a lot of women, I suppose.
Oh, man. A lot of women. You know, in putting this book together, it was a situation where personal experiences, of course, but I talked to a lot of my male friends, a lot of my female friends, and I just kind of put it all together. And how to attract a real man. I really wrote the book because I thought it was male and female relationships I think are going awry right now. On a serious note, I think I read a lot of magazines, whether online or any of the popular magazines you read.
Cosmo?
Nah, I mean, you know, well, if it's online, I may see a blog or something, but the premise is it seems that women, a lot of today's women feel like, hey, I could do it all on my own. A lot of articles, I don't need a man, And, you know, I just think that naturally men need women and women need men.
I definitely agree. I mean, do you have any siblings?
Yes, I do.
You have sisters?
I have one, yes.
You have one sister.
Yeah.
So can you say you kind of wrote it for her, like a how-to book? Coming from her brother?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, she had her own way of doing things, but I just put the book out there because I see a lot of young women and, you know, a lot of college women, I guess early 20s, even into 30s. They seem to be frustrated. They seem to be angry. They feel, I mean, it's a lot of things going on with you ladies. Come on.
I mean, I totally agree with you. I just think also, do you think it has, you know, does it have to do with the men as well?
Well,
should we put out how to find a real woman?
Well, you know what? I'll leave that to you.
Okay.
Now, Jay, you could probably back me up on this. I mean, a real man, real is an acronym.
Right.
So the name of the book, How to Attract a Real Man, and you make a good point. Well, what about the men? And the reason I wrote the book is because we're not talking about just a man.
Right.
I'm talking about a real man. And I wanted to be very specific with ladies because a lot of women are not getting real men, thus they're becoming very frustrated by what they're dealing with in their relationships. A lot of guys, I'm calling them guys, they're immature, irresponsible, not loving. So when I put real men together, REAL is an acronym. And
what's the acronym stand for?
REAL is responsible, educated, ambitious, and loving. And when I thought about that, and I'm going to take you back, women used to say, oh, I need a real man. You know, you ain't no real man. And that's how the idea actually came up. All my life, I used to hear women, oh, you ain't no real man. I need me a real man in my life. So I said, well, what is a real man? And I started to think about it, and I said, you know what? I think women they're looking for when they say that, a guy that's responsible, because you don't have a job, you're always sitting around. So responsible is what you want. Somebody's handling their business. Educated. I know women love, here we are, Howard University's campus. Pretty much women like educated men. Educated is the E. Ambitious. Not a lot of women like dealing with a man who's just laying around playing PlayStation, Xbox all day, every day.
Every once in a while.
Yeah, but you know, so again, the A is for ambition and L is for loving. At the end of the day, you want to be loved. So that's what REAL stands for.
Well, you know the basis. Stick with us. We're going to dive into the book in just a minute. And hey, ladies, when you find out what to do for that real man, the question is, what won't you do to get that real man? It's also the title track of our next song. Stick with us. Going into the book, How to Attract a Real Man with Mr. Babe Bright here on The Mix is WHURworld.com.